tatta dhinta takita dhimta dhinta tam.
Hello everyone, thank you for stopping by. In this video I wanted to share some information about Goddess Durga, who is the focus of my group classes which start on the 11th of October 2021. Goddess Durga, like all the goddesses, appear in a very timely fashion. Here we are in times where there's a lot of combative energy around, there's lots of division, polarization in many different parts of the world. And on first glance, it would appear that the warrior goddess is going to be part of all of this. It's part of this resistance and fighting. And yet there is a deeper and more profound significance to Goddess Durga. Even though today popularly we understand Goddess Durga as this warrior energy that is about resisting or fighting something, whether in more Western notions it's about fighting against oppression, or in India it's about fighting evil. The roots of Goddess Durga go to something that is about that aspect of our consciousness which it cannot be overcome. So it comes from a primordial goddess symbol of the pillar. You can see this across ancient cultures in many different parts of the world, these megalithic pillars that have stood the ravages of time for centuries. The oldest of them, for example, that we know of at the moment is in Turkey, which is Göbekli Tepe, and that's about 12,000 years old. Thousands and thousands of years, these megaliths made of rock have stood the ravages of time and everything that we as human beings have done, and they have withstood all that. The word Durg is unassailable. It means unassailable. It means something that we cannot overcome, something that we cannot push over, something that we cannot go through. And this connection with the stamba or the pillar in the ancient goddess tradition and practice goes to the heart of this sensation, this consciousness, this reality that there is a part of ourselves that is like the rock, like the earth, that is eternal, that cannot be pushed over, that cannot be passed through, and that stands its ground, despite the shifting sands. And so what are the shifting sands? The shifting sands is the mind consciousness. All our mind consciousness. It's not just your mind or my mind, but it's the consciousness of the mind, which is, we call chanchala, which is like this sort of movement. And that's, the mind is always in shifting sands. And to balance that, we have this more ancient part, sensation, consciousness in us that is capable of standing the ground. The interesting thing is that because the goddess tradition is a dance practice, even in the stamba, it is not just a standing still. It is about movements that actually connect you to that aspect of your consciousness, to that reality of yourself and your consciousness. The other element here is the earth, the connection to the earth. So you can see that these pillars, they're made of the earth, they're made of rock, they stand in the earth. And so also, we are made of the earth. The closest thing that is eternal to us is the earth. No matter where you are in the world, you stand on this earth that is millions of years old and that will continue beyond us. And we have that too in our bodies. We are made of the earth. So connecting to the earth in your body through this movement that is of timelessness, that is of eternity, and yet that is also strong and grounded. So why do we need the warrior self? Because you need the ferocity, you need that conviction, courage, and ferocity to actually connect to that energy, to stand in that energy, to move in that energy. So you see that this is not a ferocity that is directed outward. In fact, even in the stories of the good versus evil in Durga, what the evil represents is actually the nature of the mind. It's not so much as defeating the mind, because there isn't a winner and loser. It's more about finding the balance. You balance that shifting sands by connecting to the earth with ferocity, with strength, and with absolute presence. By connecting to the movement and sensation of the earth in you, you are able to balance the shifting sands of mind and of time. Just like those megaliths, some of them actually stand in very remote areas, literally in the midst of shifting sands. And they are Durga, the goddess, the reminder that we too can connect with what is enduring, timeless, grounded in us, no matter what's going on around us. So this is the goddess Durga, and this is what you will be looking at through the ancient vocabulary of Indian dance, based on Natya Shastra, which is this 2,000 to 3,000 year old text. Of course, the practice is older than that. So we will look at the martial vocabulary, and when I say martial, I have to use existing words, but it is that vocabulary that connects us to that movement of that grounded, present, ferocious, graceful, compassionate energy in you. That is the divine feminine energy of Goddess Durga. So thank you for listening to me. And if you feel the Goddess Durga calling to you, I look forward to the honor of your company in these classes. Thank you again.